Hey there. Welcome to this technical breakdown of our innovative n8n appointment setter. I'm excited to show you a solution that can be customized for virtually any industry. In this video, I'll walk you through how we build an automated appointment system that not only handles scheduling efficiently, but also includes powerful reporting features to give you complete visibility into your solution's performance. I'll also share some key insights on how to properly balance your AI agent's knowledge base, which prevents information overload while ensuring your system has everything it needs to provide precise, helpful responses. Whether you're looking to streamline your customer engagement process or simply curious about how n8n can transform your workflow automation, this breakdown will give you practical steps to implement and scale this solution for your specific needs. This template will also be available in our community, where we help you scale your own AI agency with proven templates to sell to businesses or solopreneurs. Let's dive in and see exactly how this appointment setter can take someone's business to the next level.
Hello, my name is Luca, and we're going to be making an appointment setting chatbot on n8n using the AI agent feature, as well as building a full reporting workflow in the back end. So we're going to start here in n8n. I'm not sure if you're new to this platform or not. If you are, then definitely try it out. It's great for building basically anything for client needs, especially things like chatbots, automations. And yeah, in this case, we're going to do a appointment setting chatbot. So we're going to name it Home Solutions Booking Bot. This is a fiction company, but I'll be using the same infrastructure that we've used for just over 100 clients now with the appointment setting chatbot. First thing we're going to add in is a chat trigger. And this is quite important. So we're going to go make chat publicly available. We'll stay on hosted chat. We're going to, and we can keep that. How can I assist you today? Let's say I am the virtual assistant for Home Solutions. My name is n8n. Great. And then here, we're going to go on response mode, and we're going to change that to using respond to webhook node. Great, so that's set up, and now we can go over here, copy that in. That is not going to do anything yet because we haven't activated the workflow. So if we save that, activate it. There we go. So now we've got a great interface that we can test our chatbot as we go. Testing is really important as you're building it, because you might just not realize a tiny little detail can send you in circles for hours. So I would definitely recommend testing as you go. So the first thing we're going to do is put an Airtable node. This is to check whether it's a new user or an existing user. So it's search records. So we just connected a test Airtable base. If you don't know how to connect the Airtable API, n8n have great docs there, and it makes it very simple. And so we're going to go with all agent logs and conversation ratings. And then if you look over here, so it's user ID on my Airtable. So we're going to go user ID equals 2 of those, and then we want this to equal the session ID. So if I just type something there, it won't do anything, but what it will do is it'll give me, if I press copy to editor, this will give me the session ID. So we're going to identify the users using this session ID. So what we're basically doing here is we're searching our Airtable to check if this user ID appears in the Airtable, if it already exists. After this, we're going to have an if node, and all we're going to do here is, so if we test this quickly to get the output, then, so what I'm actually going to do, sometimes just to get these going, I'm going to add this to here. So that's fine. Back over. So now if we test it, great. So it's found the user into the if node, and we're going to go value1 user ID and say if it exists. So if it does exist and it's true, we don't need to create another record. So that will go straight to the AI agent. And if it does not exist, so false, then we're going to create the record. Not create record, Airtable. And we'll go create record. Boom. Okay, so all we're going to do with this is... Great, so... If I... Okay, so in the AI agent, we're going to go back to the create error table, but first, here's a little trick. If you can't, because if it doesn't go exactly in the flow, sometimes you can't actually parse the value from the node before. Something I like to do is pop that there. No, that is not what I like to do. I like to go here, all the way to the back, all the way to the chat invite. Pop that there. I'm gonna copy that. And that is what we're gonna use to create. You can see there's no data because it hasn't gone down this path yet. So we're gonna use that, and that's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna create a record with that. And we're gonna name this. Naming all your nodes seems like such a tedious task to do when you're building, when you're in a rush, but it's so worth it. If you can get organized with it. I used to be absolutely awful at naming all the nodes, but it's worth it, and it just makes everything feel a little bit more satisfying. So after that's created, we'll bring it up there. So the input into this is going to be the chat input. And then we are going to go down here. So can determine which item to use. Okay, let's go back to that. In the prompt, I have just put our usual production prompt into chat, or into Claude actually. Claude 2.7 is great for prompting, and I asked it to make a fiction prompt from the template I provided for a home solutions company. So let me just pop that in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to place the prompt that I made in Claude. But this is basically the kind of format we use for prompts. We have done an endless amount of testing with these prompts, and although things might seem very sweet when you're, testing it out yourself, when a solution is in production, and I know this firsthand, when it's in production with hundreds of clients, it can get you really worried if you haven't covered all corners on the prompt. So you're probably looking at this being like, holy, that's a huge prompt. I have tried to refine it so much times, it turns out we need everything. We're going to quickly go through everything that's in this prompt. Keep in mind this full template is going to be available within our community, which you can see below. But yeah, I'll just go through it quickly. So the first thing I mentioned is the tone under communication and personality. Then we have language matching. That means I can speak to the bot in Spanish or book an appointment in Japanese if I'd like to. It's just something that AI does quite well in terms of language matching, so there's no point in not adding it, even if you don't think there's going to be a whole lot of languages. But never output exclamation marks or bold format letter. That is because with our original solution, we were using a different custom chat interface, and I couldn't properly parse the symbol. So just keep it simple. I use that. So, and then adapt responses. So this is just to keep it kind of intelligent in conversation. There's a very fine balance between giving your bot really specific instructions and then turning it into sounding too much like a robot. I know that's ironic because it's AI. But yeah, this little paragraph seems to help me quite a bit. About the special, this is the special they're offering. So new customers receive free consultation at 15% off their first service. Great. So core validation rules never bypass is we want to get all the constant information. That is a really important part, especially if you're selling your solution, because your client is going to really value all of the leads information, such as your name, email, and phone number. We actually have a separate little bit for that. I'll get to that soon. Date validation is also very important. The AI is okay at knowing what day it is today and what day it is tomorrow sometimes if you give it a reference, but it's not as reliable as you think. We had some of our solutions in production with clients, and 1 in every 10 or 20 times it would get the date wrong. So when it's booking appointments, that is really bad. We actually have a tool in this solution that the bot can use to get the right date and time from natural language. We'll get to that. We have conversation flow. You can adjust this whatever way you want. It's just to give the bot a bit of guidance on how to handle the incoming questions. Got some check date stuff. There are all the tools. Date handling procedures, date processing steps. You can see I had problems with date processing, so there's quite a lot of instructions there. And then we have follow-up booking prompts, business availability errors, when user asks for availability. So if they say just how to say we're open this time on Saturday, what time would you like to book? And then we've got a few more stuff. So we've got the script for collecting the contacts. we found a better result in getting constant information when we don't ask them for everything at once. So we've created a script here where it says, may I get your name for the consultation booking? And then it's thanks, first name, what's a good number where a specialist can reach you on. So it's not like, what's your phone number? We try to be a bit more natural in the conversation. And then of course with your email, could you please provide an email so we can send you the consultation details. Tool usage. The tool usage is so important. So we are going to get to that. And a check date. That is where it gives natural language to his tool, and it gets the accurate date back. So if I say tomorrow and today is the 21st, it'll give me back the date is in the 22nd, and that just really tightens up the whole thing really in terms of making sure we're accurate with the date and time. Question answers. So we're actually using a sub workflow in this solution because the FAQs would take up too much space in the prompt. You can use vector store tools. We have found that vector store tools are great if you've got loads of information. We don't have that much information in terms of FAQs. So what we have here is fine for us. Read contacts, that is just checking if we've already got their name, email, or phone number before booking, and then create events, obviously, for booking. We have some company information, booking time procedures, when user provides date, time, what to do, just a lot of general instructions. Again, you can run through this prompt, you can refine it however you'd like. If anyone manages to make this like much shorter and still as accurate, please drop a comment or give us a text, because that would be great. Post-booking responses, everything is actually really important in the prompts. GPT-4o can handle this prompt. We have hundreds and hundreds of conversations every day with our bots, so we found this the best way. And then these are obviously the services that these guys are offering: interior renovation, exterior improvements, home maintenance, and what we're doing is booking consultations. At the end, then we have how to handle negative feedback. Great. So the first thing we're going to do with this agent is add a chat model. I have been using OpenAI because it's just, I've tried loads of them, and I have found GPT-4o is just the most reliable and efficient, and it follows the prompt really well. So that's what we've been doing. If you want to adjust how creative your agent is, I like to adjust the temperature. Some people say adjust the top and the temperature. I don't like adjusting both of them. It kind of confuses it because they're more or less the same thing. But I like to put that by 0.3. If it was like a bot in healthcare and we need to be super strict on the outputs, I'd put it at like 0.0 to make it more kind of robotic and follow the rules. For this, we're going to do 0.3. For chat memory, we're just going to do simple memory. And we need to map this, so we'll go define below. Here we go. And there, that is red. I'm going to come back to this because that is weird why it's red, but anyway, not to worry. Okay, so I just ran a quick test. This is fine. I'm not sure why it was red. It was there. It should also be, that's fine as well. And let's just check on this one, that's fine. Now, there was one issue. I just did a test run, as you can see here. It stopped here because there was no record that matched it. It was a new conversation. So what we want to do with this search records is go to always output data. So if we save that, let's go to this chat, and we say, what services do you offer? Okay, doesn't seem to be responding. Let's check on it. Oh, it did. Oh, I know what the problem was here. We have set it to respond only using a webhook response. So we're going to leave this at first incoming item. We'll save that. And let's try this again. Great. Okay, so that's working now. Fantastic. Okay, so here we are. We've set up more or less the infrastructure for the agent. Now it is time to add all the rest of the tools. So to keep you reminded, we do have all the tools listed here. So we're going to go with create event first, and that will be for making a booking. I keep typing in the name of the actual tool itself. So we'll be using Google Calendar. Again, if you have not set up your credential on this, it's super easy. All you do is sign into your Google account. You can see I've done it here already. We're going to book on web app testing. And then for here, we're going to do an expression, and we're going to say AI start time, comma, another 2 of these, the start time of the user's appointments. And then we're going to do, we're going to put this as end time. The end time of the user's appointments. Add fields attendee. So basically what we're doing with this from AI expression is we're letting the AI agent decide what goes into that field. I know that sounds a little bit risky, but it actually works really well. We've done notice that they've actually added in this button here where let the model define this parameter. That's if you don't want to describe it. I'm just used to doing it myself. We'll test out that new feature later on in the build just to make sure it works. So for here, it'll be email, and then the email that we'll do the email address that the user provided. Great. Add fields. Do we need anything else? Yeah, let's just do a summary, and let's do another one of these. Sorry, I know I'm just copying and pasting these over. We'll do name, the name of the user, and then we'll just do another one of these. We'll do service. And the service that they booked a consultation for. And that'll be fine. You can add more details if you like. I think, if you're going to production with these kind of solutions, description. Actually, you know what? Let's add a description. So thanks for booking with Premium Home Solutions. We look forward to seeing you soon. And I like to, for our current clients, I actually have, is this the best number to reach you on? And then I put in the number that the user provided. This is quite helpful because if there's someone working at the desk or something like that in, I suppose, the workplace of your client, they can easily look at the calendar and they can see the person and they can ring them before, after, whatever. So that's quite a nice little feature for your clients. Phone number. The phone number that the user. As you can see, I'm doing the name of the string, I suppose, and then the description. That's just to give them a bit of context as to what they're actually putting into that field. When I say them, I mean the AI agent. Great. So we've set that up. Now we need to name this the same as we have in our prompt. So it'll be create event, and then you can, if this tool, now the create event tool does work well, just with what we have in the prompt. If you find that your agent isn't calling your tools correctly, you can go to this and set it manually. So let's do it for this one. So use this tool, Jesus in capitals, to make a booking. Great. Okay, fantastic. That's saved. Next, we're going to do the read contact tool, which will be search from whatever Airtable you're looking at. If you guys haven't used Airtable before, I find it's a great medium between Google Sheets and a proper database, especially for just something like this. If you don't have thousands and thousands of records that you need to filter through. It's really reliable. The API seems to, work very fast. We use it quite a lot. So yeah, I would look into that. Definitely, we would not recommend going into production with Google Sheets API because it's just not nearly as reliable or secure. So definitely use Airtable instead of Google Sheets. This one is called read contact. I think I'm going to check that. And here it will be. So curly brackets, user ID, just to confirm that's because we have this here, user ID, and we want to find that record. So user ID equals, make sure you turn this into an expression, and it'll be, we're going to map this from here. Great. And that's it. Great, now we've got that one. Now we're going to do the sub workflow for the FAQs. So we're going to call another workflow, and I believe this is called question_answers. You can name these tools obviously whatever you want. I'm going to have a description here. Call this tool for any questions the user has regarding the services, company, or anything else. Let's leave that quite broad and open. It's depending what you have in your FAQs. So, if you needed a sub workflow for specific services that they offer and wanted lots more details on them, you could do the same thing here and create a different workflow for just the services and say, use this tool for any questions regarding services, and make it a bit more strict. We're just going to do this. So it will be FAQ tests, chat input, and we're going to use this here. So whatever input goes into that workflow is just going to be decided by the AI agent, which is great. So that is now done. We need to rename this to question answers. And the last tool we're going to input is the check date tool, which is here. This is if you're going into production with a solution and you do want to use this check date tool, if you're booking appointments with AI, with.ai, we'll put the link just for the video, is what I use. It's just a really good natural language model, that natural language understanding NLU model, which gives me a lot of peace of mind when people are booking appointments, that if the user says, 12 days from now, we can accurately know what date that is and accurately book them in for the right appointment. So yeah, that is with AI. Let us know, I suppose, if you want us to do a video on how to set that up. There's also a really good PHP function, which we'll also put below, and that would be through a HTTPS request. If I quickly go into this, so we need to set the time zone here to, let's set it to America, Chicago, not because I'm in Chicago, just for the sake of it. And then you have to put stuff in like an API key. Obviously this is a test one that we're using today. Q, and I just do by model. That's Q's question, basically. And then, yeah, it'll bring you through everything when you're in with AI. I'd really recommend it. It's worked for me. And the description is, get the date after inputting natural language such as next Saturday or tomorrow. So we'll see how that works. First, we need to go to the workflow for the FAQs. Okay, great. So now we're going to set up the FAQ workflow. The first thing we're going to add in is an execute workflow. When executed by another workflow, we're going to add a field, and it's going to be called chat input. Great. And then we have an AI agent, which is fine. It's connected to chat trigger. That is okay. System message. This is basically the prompt. I prefer keeping the user message where it actually says prompt, much more like simple, just with whatever the user input is, just to not confuse the bot. I find it better to use system message. So I just created a fictional FAQ list. So here is the FAQ list that I just made in Claude. I asked it to create a bit of an FAQ list for a home solution company. If you want to read through it, it's just very kind of simple FAQs, trying to think of what the user might ask. Do you offer financing options? Do you handle permits and inspections? Yeah, but this is just for the video's purpose. Obviously, when you have your clients, you'll make quite an intricate FAQ list with them. So we have done that. That's fine. Last thing we need to do here is add a chat model. And we can probably go with 4.0 mini here. It's probably like good enough and fast enough. I just like 4.0 because it works well. By the way, again, another credential, OpenAI. Again, super easy to connect if you go to these docs that they have, and then provide great docs and make it very easy for us. So that's great. I'm not going to add any temperature here because I don't want it to copy exactly what the FAQ answers say, purely because the user might not ask exactly what is in the FAQs. So we're going to give it a little bit of creativity there. I will save this. Great. So now we're back to the main build. And just double check this is linked. Yes. Refresh word. Yeah. Okay, that's all great. And yeah, so now we've got the main part built, and there is still 2 more parts that we're going to do. But let's just test it for the moment. Hello, can I book in? I want my kitchen looked at for expansion. Do you have a service for that? Yes, we do. We offer. Okay, great. What if my warranty runs out and it's broken? Book me in for 2 p.m. tomorrow. Oh jeez, I spelled that wrong. I'm sorry, we're closed on Sundays. Today is Saturday, by the way. Okay, so let's go Monday. And I'll show you now how the different tools are being used. For Monday, April 14th, great. We have appointments. Okay, I'll say, would 2 p.m. work for you? May I get a name for your consultation? Yes, Luca is my name. And let's try confuse it here. Let's say Luca is my name and then say, where are you based? I'm not sure what fictional address is in this, but hopefully there's something. Okay, that's obviously Premium Home Solutions. That's great. Now let's proceed with your booking by phone number. Okay, so let's go. Sorry, I'm not going to put my real phone number here, unfortunately. An email address. Let's not give the email address, and let's see if it comes back for it. Great. LucaAllen1@hotmail.com. Great, your consultation has been booked for Monday, April 15th. Okay, so here we can see that it booked my appointment for Monday, April 15th. This is a really good example of why we need to take extra steps in ensuring that AI knows the time and day. So let's go back and just have a look at what it did. Okay, so you can see here, it created the event and didn't use the check date. So again, as I was stressing about, and you probably all thought I was crazy, but this is what happens when AI doesn't know the date time. So in this scenario, we need to make sure that it uses check date every time. Let's go back to when it actually did use check date. Question answers, what's the ask here? Where is it located? We got the address. Okay, that tool is working. Check date. So we said Monday, and I got the 14th. Monday is the 14th, so that's correct. Okay, so what we're gonna do with this is we're actually gonna add something in and say create events. We're gonna say always use the check date tool to confirm the date is correct you are booking for. I'm doing this all in capitals because it's important. Input natural language such as tomorrow, Monday, or next week, Tuesday. Okay, and we're also going to add, where's the check date tool? Read context, ask questions, check date. So always use before create events tool to verify date. And what we're actually going to do as well is the date and time now. And time now is, we'll go that. We're going to format that. We're going to put the day in there as well. Great. So the date and time now is Saturday. We also want hours, minutes. Does that work? I think it needs to be like that. Doesn't need to be like that. Yes, that is the time now. Okay, great. My account's on America, Chicago. I'm in the UK, so it's 9 p.m. my time on Saturday, and it's 3 p.m. their time. Okay, fantastic. So let's change that, and let's check it again. So let's go quicker this time. Hey, can I make a booking? 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Let's say in 4 days. Okay. We have available appointments. 1 p.m. works perfectly. Great. Can I get your name? Luca. Thanks, Luca. always have to remind myself not to put my real number in here. And we'll just go luca@gmail.com. I hope whoever has that email, luca@gmail.com, is not watching this. Because, well, great email, by the way, but yeah, I use that quite a bit. Right, okay, let's check if it actually used the tool this time before booking, or if it needed to, because we had this in. Okay, use the tool at that time. 16, 4 days from today. Let's check the calendar. Yes, 16th is there. 1 p.m. in Chicago time. Fantastic. Luca consultation. That's great. Okay, fantastic. So the bot works, at least. It's making the bookings, everything. And there, I don't know if you've realized, but we haven't been mapping the name, email, phone number to anywhere. I'm about to explain why we haven't been doing that. Basically, as I was saying earlier, because that's so important, we actually want to give it to another AI agent, but we don't want to slow down the main agent. That was confusing. What we want to do is we want to make it basically as efficient as possible from when the message comes in to when the message goes back out. And we want to make it basically just as efficient as possible and not complicated. We don't want to overcomplicate anything in this workflow, especially if we don't need to. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go chat model, and we're going to use for again, and then we're going to do tool is Airtable. It's going to be Airtable times 3. Duplicate. I'm just going to have one for each name, email, and phone number. Duplicate. Okay, there we go. Okay, and inside this AI agent, we're going to rename it to contact collection. I don't trust that. We're going to do, there we go, that's perfect. So the user input, then we're going to get our prompt for this AI agent. So system message again. Okay, so inside this prompt, you guys can copy this if you'd like. Pause the screen, take this down. We're basically just telling it to use its tools to save the email, name, and phone number. This makes it more accurate. It makes everything more efficient. It's just a better way in doing it. So what we're going to do, I didn't save the name, of course I didn't. Contact collection, rename, fantastic. This one is going to be email. Let's make it all caps because that's just what I did in the other one. Agent logs, conversation ratings, operation update, not on ID, it's going to be on user ID, and we're going to be matching on that. And I'm just actually going to leave this up to the AI agent to know what to put in there, because it should be quite simple, I hope. This one is going to be phone. And yes, it is a record, but we want to update the record. And it's going to be, sometimes that just doesn't load, which is great. Conversation ratings. User ID again. I wonder if we did this button on user ID if it would work. Anyway, you guys can test that out. This is for phone. Got phone there. You're probably wondering why I've got all these different columns. I'm going to explain that soon. And then name. Obviously, if you're doing a bot through like ManyChat, we've done some of these built for clients, and it's through like ManyChat, and then you get the name automatically from Facebook, which is great. But in this case, we don't have their name. Last one is search. What I should have done is did this boring part and then copied and pasted them. But anyway, why is that? No, it's not search, it's obtain. There we go. Sorry, I might have, if I make a mistake, can you comment? Because I probably have, and I don't know about it, but we're going to test it all anyway. Map on that, and then this is what name, isn't it? Great, okay. So that's fine, that's done. Next, we are going to have a chat memory manager. So basically everything up until, I suppose, here is quite normal. I suppose what you see on YouTube, we know from experience that it's just not enough to have a bot in production, live with clients, live talking to people. This part is like insanely important. What we're going to do is we're going to get the transcripts and then we're going to analyze them through another automation in the background. So you literally have a reporting employee just running all the time, which is great. And then if you get asked a hard question from clients, such as, you know, how much people actually respond to our text, what's the percentage of booking, what questions do they ask before booking, what are our outputs, you know, after booking, all these kind of questions are super hard to answer if you don't know where the transcripts are and how to look through them. So we're going to go here. This needs to have the same memory as the agent. So that is session ID. Up this to like 15. So that's great. And then we, just to clean up the transcripts, we're going to put code block, because you wouldn't be able to save it to Airtable because it's all in different objects and everything. So we want to just clean up the transcript a bit and then put it into the Airtable to analyze. So this is a little bit of code that we did that literally just cleans up the transcripts. It won't work if I press test with it. So yeah, you can pause, copy this, or get the template in the community, whatever you like, but it just helps clean it up. And then the last thing we are going to do is update a record. It's going to be the same thing. I told you, it just doesn't load sometimes. I don't know why. Okay, great. And then user ID. And this is going to be, so the user ID we're matching is this one. Beware, this is in a slightly different format. The code block does something weird to the variables. So you can see here it says first open close bracket JSON session ID, and then we're adding in, we're gonna have to run this first before it gets added in. So let's just say, let's answer to this guy here. Great, thank you. See you soon. Let's see how polite it is. Okay, if we go back to executions, okay, great. So now the output is nothing, which is fantastic. Now, these code blocks, I use the same code block all the time and it just doesn't work for some reason. Okay, what we're going to do, which I don't usually do, but wait, let me just test this. Let transcripts. Let's do Ask AI. I want to neatly format this transcript into human and AI messages. It should all be put into one item that's called output. Let's see what it does. That looks way too simple, but it works. Okay, fantastic. I think it works. Let's check it out. So if we put output, I don't think that's going to work if it's an object. No, it doesn't. So let's go back to this. It should have these to separate the interactions and be in plain text. There's no shame, by the way, in using these like AI things. Some people can frown upon it, but if it's there for you, just use it. If it works. Obviously, this is quite a simple thing we're doing. Okay, fantastic. That will work now. Where are we? Transcripts, output, test app. Great. Okay, so now we've got the transcripts. Human, okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let me just delete these ones from when we were testing. Okay, and I'm gonna actually delete this one now as well. Okay, and let's do the test. So I want to book for a broken window. Sure, Sunday closed. Let's just try test it. Just book me in 15 hours from now. You do have to do all these really weird tests with your bot, obviously before you sell them. 15 hours never falls. I said business hours on Monday. Great. Okay. Let's do 5 days away minus 2 days. So 3 days should be Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's do 4 p.m. Let's just I don't know, spell this wrong. Let's just say 4. I should know it's p.m. I hope. Great. We have Tuesday, 15th. Great. 4 p.m. Can I get a name? Luca. And number. We'll just go with that. Luca at example.com. What day did I book for? It was Tuesday, right? Great, we're booked in. And we should have my name and email and phone number. Okay, fantastic. We don't have the transcript. Right, so something's got... Oh, I didn't save it. If we just do one more. If I do this, the whole transcript should save. Please save. There we go. That was because I tested the step last time, but I didn't save the workflow. So that's why you can see I've got great spelling here. But yeah, okay, great. So now we've got the name, the transcript, the email, phone number, which is fantastic. So now we're going to get into the back end workflow that's going to analyze all our conversations and give us all the metrics we need to impress the clients, I suppose, or to prove that we're building good stuff. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so here is the reporting transcript. You can put it on a schedule trigger. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to show you how it's possible to use, because there's no point going through the whole thing. Your solution can be different to mine. You're going to want to analyze different stuff, but this is just a really good way to do it. So the schedule trigger, and what we're doing here is we're searching for where booking is null. Because if booking's null, we know that's the column booking, by the way. We know that we haven't analyzed that transcript yet. So if I go, see if I test it. Okay, so that didn't work. That's great. If we go to, okay, nodes, booking does not have access to credential. Okay, there we go. These all have access. Yes. 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 And yes. Okay, great. Okay, so now we get the user transcript for booking equals 0. We get the user ID and the transcript. That's all we need. As I said, the first thing we're doing is just checking. Again, I'm going to go into all these. Oops, daisy. So you can just pause and copy the prompts if you like, or they will be in the template in the community. All we're doing is giving it the transcript. So what we did there is we just did transcript, and then we got it from here and just brought it over, and then quite a simple prompt. You're a high precision conversation analyzer. Tell me what language that they're speaking in. You can play around with these. This I wouldn't say is perfect, just because I quickly made it up for this fiction company. So this one checks for a booking, which is fantastic. This was quite important. All bookings are in the year 2025. Again, AI is not good at time or date, so don't rely on it. Just tell it what it needs to be told. It may also be in Spanish. You don't know. Our clients interact quite a lot in Spanish. Whatever your clients do, you can add in there. Was their lead created basically means did we get their email or phone number? If we got their email, it's a lead created. If we got their email or phone number, it's lead created. If we got none of it, it's not a lead created for your client. So we want to track that. Did they engage conversation? So are they actually talking to the bot? Did we send the first message and our first message was so awful that they didn't respond? We want to keep track of these things as well, which is very handy. Conversation intent. what was the intent of the conversation? So was there an appointment booked? Was there a verbal appointment? You know, like, oh yeah, I'll call later, I'll book then. Did they ask for the location? Was it a mistake? Was it just a conversation? Was it spam? All of these are super important to track. Again, you can copy this prompt here if you'd like. And then this is like a double checker on the date and time. So this is, again, pause screen, copy if you like, pause screen, copy. Giving it the transcript here again, the selection agent. What we're actually prompting it to do here is put the natural language into check date, which is with AI, and then that gives us back the date. And then what we want to do with the date, just for a double check, is put the date in here. Why is that? It is supported. I don't know why that's showing me that. But anyway, that's gonna give me, as you see, CCCC is the day as well. So we're getting the day and the date. And I told it to output in this way. So it's going to output there just to tell me any errors that might have happened. After all of them, we're just getting the, I'll tell you what, let's actually just run this workflow. And then I'll be able to show you the where we save the variables. I know I just gave a lecture on naming all your nodes, and if you look here, I got like halfway with naming the nodes, and then all of a sudden I gave up, which isn't good. Don't copy me on that. What's this one for? Oh, this is for checking. Let's put in choice expressions so we can open this. This is for checking if there was any errors with the Google Calendar. So checking for available time slots or bookings. It's just, you know, Airtable I can trust. It's like personal access token, and I can trust Google's as well. But I want to know if it had an issue. You know, if you've got loads of clients and they change their sign-in, okay, technically that doesn't change the credential, but you know, you want to keep track of these things, because it can fly past your head, and it'll be going on for a week and you just won't know. Great, so let's go back over here. So it has my booking there. There was a lead created. We did engage in conversation, and the intent is an appointment booked. The transcript shows confirmed appointment with such details. Fantastic. There was no error. Oh, it's saying we did have an error on the calendar. The AI confirmed consultation for Tuesday 15th, which is invalid. Okay, this is a really good example of why AI, you have to like really look after AI and like guide it like really specifically, because this just makes no sense what I've put it. So we can confirm Tuesday availability is Tuesday. So what I would do is I'd go into this. Okay, so what we should do is only output errors if the bot specifically, I'm not great at spelling if you haven't realized already, it specifically says they had an error with booking the appointment. Okay, let's try that. Great, so that time it wasn't anything. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Will that have updated? Yeah, false. There's no error. Booking business with computer successfully. Okay, so that was actually another good example of how you just have to keep fine-tuning all these little bits. They'll be like so particular for whatever bot you're building, whatever client you are taking on. But this reporting part, I can't explain to you how much time it'll save, how much stress it'll save, just everything when you go into production with your clients. When you're charging money for these things, you know, you do need to be professional about it, and yeah, and just look after your things. There, obviously, you can go into much more detail. We will go into much more detail in more videos about how we run automated testing, scripts for checking links, and you know, really making sure that our production solutions are like live and working well, and as they should be. So yeah, that is the bot. As I said, the full template for this build will be in our community where you can get. If not, I'm sure you can like pause and copy what I was doing along the video. But yeah, this is a solution that we have sold to over 100 clients already. There's no reason why you can't go out, find the clients, just get them some bookings, build a Replit app or something, and link the chat input to link the chat interface to that. Maybe we'll do another video on that, on how to do that. But yeah, you've got the complete backend now for a great appointment setter. Go out, contact people. This is a proven solution, and sell it. And best of luck.
And there you have it, a complete breakdown of our n8n appointment setter solution. As you've seen, this system isn't just about scheduling appointments. It's about creating a seamless, automated experience with powerful reporting capabilities that give you full visibility into performance. This template will be available in our community, which we'll be launching in a couple of weeks, where we help entrepreneurs just like you scale their AI agencies with proven, ready-to-implement solutions. Whether you're serving businesses or solopreneurs, this appointment setter can be customized to fit any industry you're targeting. If you found this valuable, please don't forget to join our community, which will be available soon, where you'll get access to more solutions like this one, plus direct support from our team and AI agency experts. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see how you take this appointment setter to the next level in your own AI agency. Until next time.